I did the wrong thing and I'm getting punished for it. So I want y'all to know that you actually get punished for doing wrong things. Just do the right thing.
In real time, this footage shows the aftermath of the moment Savannah rapper Quando Rondo was sentenced to serve time behind bars. Shockingly, the street is saying goodbye forever to Quando Rondo. Are you also wondering what happened to the Savannah rapper behind bars? Stay with me and find out. Locked behind bars. In a shocking turn of events, it appears Georgia rapper Quando Rondo will be spending his Christmas holiday behind prison bars. What a terrible way to end the year for the rapper who started as a free man, although with rising legal troubles. In the government's effort to clean the decadence in the rap culture, Quando Rondo was sentenced to serve 33 months in federal prison. Interesting to know that the sentencing by Judge R. Stan Baker marks the end of a federal case that began about a year ago. U.S. District Judge Baker insisted that the Savannah-bred rapper must serve more than 2 years in federal prison, followed by 3 years of supervised release. According to Savannah Morning News reports, the rapper was almost fined to pay up to $40,000 as part of retribution. The news startled the industry and fans started to wonder what the whole case was all about. Now here is it. Quando Rondo's sentencing was in connection to a drug-related case the rapper has been fighting for the past year. Rondo, whose real name is Tikeon Bowman, originally faced up to 5 years but struck a plea deal with the U.S. Department of Justice in August to plead guilty only to the marijuana charge, dropping other drug-related offenses. Under the plea deal, prosecutors dropped a more serious charge of conspiracy to possess and distribute methamphetamine, cocaine, fentanyl, and marijuana. If convicted of that initial charge, Bowman would have been facing up to 20 years in prison. The lesser charge he was convicted of carried a possible maximum of 5 years in prison. However, his defense lawyer did not immediately respond to a request for comment from news outlets. According to news reports, during the sentencing hearing, the judge took into consideration the fact that Quando Rondo was not in a gang. Although he was once a gang member, Quando Rondo renounced his involvement in gang activities and somehow got the judge to buy the story. The judge referred to the situation as a sophisticated conspiracy. However, prosecutors argued that Quando Rondo, whose legal name is Tikeon Bowman, is a role model in the community. In this regard, Southern District of Georgia, U.S. Attorney Bradley Thompson asked that Quando Rondo be served 37 months and a $50,000 fine, hoping that would help keep the rapper on a sane path. The prosecutor said, "Children look up to the rapper and hope that will inspire him to stay on a better path." Mind-blowingly, the rapper is alleged to have sold marijuana in packages with a QR code that links to his music. Damn, bro, that's a hard market strategy, I must give it to him. I mean, how did he even come up with that? He was like, let me devise a strategy to market my supply so that my customers could get high on my supply while listening to my music. That's a genius move, wouldn't you agree? However, in his defense, attorney Tom Withers requested the court sentence Quando Rondo to 24 months imprisonment due to his unique circumstances, including the changing legal perspective regarding marijuana in the United States. The lawyer assured the court that Quando Rondo was leaving behind every form of gang activity to focus on giving back to the community. The defense attorney then piqued the court's emotion by telling them a story of Quando Rondo's notorious childhood. He explained to the court that the Savannah-bred rapper had a rough time growing up. Before finding his interest in music as a teenager, he spent some time in juvenile detention centers. In 2019, he was in a county jail serving months before getting bailed. About the same time, at the peak of his teenage years, he started gangbanging. Quando Rondo joined the Savannah and Atlanta subset of the Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips. If you are not familiar with the ever-blazing gang, then here you go. The Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips is a division of the Crip Street Gang Alliance based in Los Angeles. It was reported to have originated from around Hyde Park, Los Angeles in 1976 from the West Side Crips and has since spread to other cities in the United States. According to Wikipedia records, membership of the Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips is estimated to be around 1,600 people, making it the largest street gang in the Los Angeles area. As a mark of identity, members of the gang wear the Seattle Mariners or Chicago White Sox logos and often mark the territories with graffiti. Quando's lawyer argued that, despite a childhood as tough as this, including being scalded with an iron as an infant and being raised in a foster home, the rapper has succeeded in keeping the fire burning in the industry. In this video, you can see the Savannah rapper in a high spirit after the sentencing hearing. He was welcomed outside the court by family and friends who gathered around to support him. Quando Rondo made a personal statement in the court, showing that he accepted responsibility for the crimes he committed and the judgment he got from the court.
I did the wrong thing and I'm getting punished for it. So I want y'all to know that you actually get punished for doing wrong things. Just do the right thing.
After the sentencing hearing, the rapper told reporters that he planned to rehabilitate himself during his time behind bars. The rapper told WJCL 22 News that he is grateful for the sentencing because it will give him time to reflect and retrospect on the life he has been living and how to better his relationship with his community.
As crazy as it sounds, that's enough time to really sit down, rehabilitate myself, come up with some better plans, come out and move forward for my family and friends.
Quando Rondo also talked about doing something intentional and motivating for his fans. He intended to be a better role model to young people around him, especially the ones who regard themselves as his fans.
You could do something way more better and positive and show the kids this is cool. Going to school is cool. Playing football from little league to middle school to high school is cool. Doing the right thing and walking down the right path is cool.
It appears the rapper has high hopes for the future of the music industry. When asked about what the future holds for him, the rapper confidently and without a bit of doubt responded by saying platinum records, diamond records, and more money. As part of his sentence, after serving time in federal prison, Rondo must undergo 3 years of supervised release and pay a $40,000 fine. The rapper also has to take part in mental health treatment, submit routine drug tests, and additionally will be unable to speak with known gang members. Rondo will begin his sentence at either FCI Jessup or FCI Estill on January 10, 2025, after reporting to the Bureau of Prisons. Interestingly, fans are reacting positively to Quando Rondo's energy towards his verdict, with some users pointing to the positive energy emanating from his speech. The first comment reads, "I'm proud of him. I forgot he was in trouble. I don't think he'll do all of his time. He literally made a 160, I would say 180, but he knows he's still got a couple of toes in the street still. But I think because he will get out, he will be one that makes a complete 180. Another user sarcastically commented, "He just now realized if you do wrong, you get punished. How ignorant." However, some fans find Quando Rondo's actions really ridiculous, given that he found himself in a major trouble with tough rappers like King Von, escaped death, escaped the legal consequences, and still did not pipe low. The user found it utterly unwise that Quando Rondo is still getting himself in the ugly side of the law, ruining his God-given talent. The comment reads, "This dude's stupid to me. He avoided death, his career was hitting, he was free. After all that, now he ending up in jail like everyone else. That shit's stupid to me. What a waste of talent." Just like many young rappers in the game, Quando Rondo has a few run-ins with law enforcement. His legal troubles are piling up like the tracks on his recent album, Rondo's Fishy Legal Battles. In a shocking turn of events, most fans and users on the internet do not believe that a rapper like Quando Rondo sold and distributed marijuana. They think it was a cover for his crimes. Some other people think that Quando Rondo's prison sentence is a decoy to get the rapper out of the streets where he would be safer. It's funny, really, but the conspiracy theories won't stop coming. Now take a look at this. During his sentencing hearing, Southern District of Georgia U.S. Attorney Bradley Thompson made reference to Quando's lyrics, claiming the rapper was gangbanging. Thompson referenced details of a new song that seemed to match the track Life Goes On, Quando Rondo's recent song in which he rapped about the tragic incident that claimed the life of his brother Lil Pap. In the music video, the rapper released blue and white balloons to honor the gruesome passing of his cousin Saviaya Robinson, known on the street as Lil Pap, who died in a murder-for-hire plot in the Los Angeles gas station shooting targeted at Quando Rondo. Although citing and referencing music lyrics and videos in court is still a controversial development, it has been part of the larger trend in recent years, especially with Young Thug's YSL Rico case, in which rappers' lyrics are used as evidence in the courtroom. If you remember, not so long ago, in November, Grammy-winning rapper and the boss at the OTF music organization was charged and arrested in an alleged murder-for-hire plot targeting rapper Quando Rondo, resulting in the death of Lil Pap. Prosecutors allege that blue and white is a symbolic color of the Crip Street gang. Citing his extended troubles with the OTFs, Prosecutor Thompson used the music lyrics and the use of colored balloons to allege that the Savannah rapper is an active member of a gang. Interestingly, it appears the prosecutor is not talking out of the blue. Records show that the rapper has been involved in gang activities, specifically with the Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips. On June 14th, a grand jury indicted the rapper for conspiracy to violate the Georgia Controlled Substances Act violation of the Street Gang Terrorism Act, illegal use of a communication facility, and another count of conspiracy to violate the Georgia Controlled Substances Act. The June indictment alleged that Quando Rondo was a member of the Rollin' 60s gang, during which he asked fellow gang members to provide him with guns and help set up a marijuana sale. Word on the street was that the state case against Quando Rondo was trying to pin him down as the leader of the Rollin' 60 neighborhood Crip. Although the federal indictment against him was anchored on dealing marijuana and other drug-related charges, the state case was basically gang-related. 1090. Jake explained to DJ Vlad the controversies around Quando Rondo's federal and state cases. Check it out.
I mean, basically, the feds just doubled down on his case. He already had it as a state case, and then it just became federal. I believe the Fed case was just like selling weed. Now, the state case, they're trying to say that he's a leader of the Rollin' 60s Crips. He's using communication devices to set up sales and this and that.
1090. Jake stated that Quando Rondo has been arrested and federally charged as part of a wider investigation. Claimed by the prosecutors to be the leader of the Rollin' 60s Crips gang, Rondo was initially dealing with state charges and has now been charged with federal charges. The charges include selling drugs and the use of communication devices to organize sales with some involvement of firearms. Interestingly, the federal case didn't emphasize gang affiliation, but focused more on drug sales. Known for his collaboration with NBA Youngboy, the Savannah-bred rapper previously renounced his involvement with the Rollin' 60s Crips, leading many to speculate whether the charges are recent or a plot from the past. 1090. Jake believes Rondo most likely distanced himself from the gang for his own safety and to preserve his career.
Quando Rondo has renounced his neighborhood Crip status. You could just do that? You can just be like, I'm out. This was fun, but I'm done.
Yeah, you can, but the technical way to do it is, go get put off, but
is he's not even like from here, so is that even a thing?
I don't know how Atlanta politics are with that.
Talking about Atlanta politics, let me break down something for you real quick to put this gist in perspective. Most people, when they hear Georgia, the first thing that comes to mind is Atlanta. But really, obviously Atlanta is in Georgia, but it seems different from the rest of the state. For instance, Atlanta's economic growth and development are very different from Savannah, where Quando Rondo hails from. The city is located on the east end of the state, right next to the ocean, but it's definitely not a beach paradise. Interestingly, during the 1920s, Savannah flourished as an industrial hub, but since then, the city declined in manufacturing and somehow majored in tourism. To be honest, when I read this, I had to double check. I was like, who would spend money just to go to Savannah? Apparently, in 2022, over 17 million people visited the Savannah-Chatham County area, generating over $4 billion in visitor spending. However, the average income in Savannah is just $28,000 a year, not enough to buy you gas in California. That was on a lighter note. But here's the thing. If the average person makes only $28,000 yearly, then the crime rate in the area is definitely high. No wonder the neighborhood bred some of the notorious people on the streets. Unlike the East and West Coast, the mode of gang operations in the Savannah area is very different. Here, the majority of the residents are below the poverty line, so the concept of one area being the hood and the other being the wealthy area is uncommon in Savannah. The street is so wild to the extent young boys with talent and passion for rap end up hiding behind the porch. This is the kind of neighborhood Quando Rondo grew up in. Aside from the toughness of his environment, his family background was very chaotic, and as such, impacted his life in an unimaginable way. Born in 1999, Quando Rondo experienced a rough start in the Westlake projects. His household was so chaotic that he ended up with CPS. As a result, the young Quando bounced around the city from one foster care home to another, making him grow with a high sense of loneliness. One day, when he was 11 years old while staying with his aunt, he got into a fight with his cousin and he hurt him pretty badly. Unexpectedly, his aunt called the cops on him. Then he got 7 days in juvenile detention. After this little introduction to the system at a very early age, you could tell Quando Rondo would go on to have so many other run-ins with law enforcement thereafter. By the age of 13, it was rumored that Quando Rondo cut off his ankle monitor and started hitting houses, stealing one or two things to be able to survive on his own. As expected, just like anyone else whose parents are nowhere to be found, the street became his new home. While Quando Rondo was trying to make a living on the street, it seems the street was on his side, and I will tell you why. In 2010, some of Los Angeles' biggest ballers decided to move to Georgia, where business seemed to be flourishing. However, the majority of these ballers were Rolling 60s members. Then over time, as more and more Los Angeles guys moved to Georgia, they started to move along with their colors. The first area to start repping the Rolling 60s in Georgia was the Clayco, and they have since then grown to over 1,000 members in the hood. In fact, most of Atlanta's biggest rappers are documented documented Rolling 60s neighborhood Crips members. Now here's the drill. You know how business on the street spreads faster than wildfire, yeah? Through such businesses and dealings, the Rolling 60s spread their colors through the Savannah as well. In fact, the organization spread throughout the west and south sides of the county, both of which Quando Rondo lived in. And guess what? By this time, the young Quando Rondo was of age and already parading the street looking for a proper standing. He was waiting for an opportunity to join the new group which seemed to have enveloped the city. In 2014, the biggest opportunity availed itself for Quando Rondo when he was locked up with a fellow teenager known as Quaffy Murphy. Both teenage boys became best friends and planned on taking the whole of Savannah streets together. However, before they began setting their plans in motion, something happened that changed the cause of their friendship. Right after they got out of jail, Quando Rondo was caught with a band machine and was sent back to detention immediately. In April 2014, Quando's new friend Quaffy woke up that morning and decided he wanted to retrieve a tool from Quando's apartment, so he did. By the time Quando Rondo got home, he knew at once something was missing, and like magic, he knew who took it. First, it's important to know that Quaffy did not deny it. Instead, he wanted to sell it to another dude. So Quando Rondo called a few friends and went in search of Quaffy. Shortly after, Quaffy found someone who wanted to purchase the tool, but he knew that transactions like this often go south. So he contacted an older person by the name of Alan Moore to roll together with. The next day, April 26th, Quaffy met Moore on his driveway at 3800 Bowl Street. From there, they went straight to meet up with the buyer, whose name was Norman Kunze Jr., popularly known as Juki. Honestly, it did not seem as though Juki was out there to buy anything. All of a sudden, a fight broke out and boom, Quaffy Murphy was shot dead. Although Juki ended up getting life for his crime, that did not make Quando Rondo feel any better. In fact, it devastated him. The incident made his heart even more colder. So when he got out of custody, he knew he needed another tool. By the time he got it, another tragedy struck and Quando Rondo was caught with it, and as expected, went back to detention. To be honest, I have not seen anyone frequent the detention center at a very young age, like Quando Rondo. However, what you must know is that with more and more, he became a hardcore on the street, but most importantly, he gained focus. After about 2 years of in and out of juvenile detention, Quando Rondo came out with a passion and dream to make music. This video, where the young Quando could be seen freestyling while banging sounds from a car, caught the attention of the internet and soon went viral on Instagram. Fortunately, his freestyle caught the attention of Atlanta rapper Lil Baby. And just so you know, Lil Baby just happened to be connected with Quando Rondo through the Rolling 60s neighborhood Crips. Then in 2018, Quando Rondo recorded his track with Lil Baby, introducing him to a phase of mainstream success. However, back home in the Savannah, the Rolling 60s have taken over the streets, conquering it as they wished. This is the reason most people found it difficult to believe that a rapper with such a bleak background, who later became rich and famous, would be caught selling weed. However, the bottom line is that Quando Rondo claimed during the interview that he was prepared to serve his time in jail.
Are you prepared to do that time in your head?
Man, I'm too solid to fold.
Yeah.
Well prepared.
During the interview, Quando Rondo spoke candidly about his ongoing legal issues, including a guilty plea in a federal case involving the distribution of marijuana. Although the rapper was facing a potential 5 years in prison, he later got 33 months. The interview also touched on Quando's personal transformation, highlighting his conversion to Islam and commitment to sobriety, having been sober for over a year. Reflecting on his past struggles with substance use that began when he was 16, the 25-year-old rapper expressed newfound clarity and purpose, aiming to inspire the younger generation to avoid life-threatening drug use. Quando Rondo affirmed his peace with everyone, stating his hope for a meaningful life moving forward. Only that, there is one last problem I think the Savannah rapper is forgetting: an undying feud with the OTFs, as a result of which Lil Durk and 5 other OTF members have been arrested and detained. Quando Rondo and OTF saga. The initial point of tension between OTF and Quando Rondo could be traced back to their affiliations. King Von's close association with Lil Durk and Quando Rondo's ties to NBA YoungBoy created an underlying rivalry. The tension between Lil Durk and NBA, YoungBoy's camps was well known in the industry and seemed to spill over to their respective artists. The events of November 6th, 2020 began like any other for King Von and his crew. They were at the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, a popular spot for nightlife. Quando Rondo and his entourage were also present at the venue. The atmosphere was charged and tensions were high, though no one could have predicted the tragic events that were about to unfold. As the night progressed, an argument broke out between the two groups. Surveillance footage captured the moment when King Von approached Quando Rondo outside the nightclub. Without warning, Von threw the first punch, igniting a violent brawl between the two entourages. The situation quickly spiraled out of control as fists flew and chaos erupted. During the fight, Timothy Lil Tim Leaks, a close associate of Quando Rondo, allegedly pulled out a gun. Shots rang out, and King Von was struck multiple times. The scene was chaotic, with people scattering in all directions as gunfire echoed through the night. Von's crew attempted to rush him to safety, but the damage had already been done. King Von was critically injured and rushed to a nearby hospital. Despite the efforts of medical personnel, he succumbed to his injuries later that night. Timothy Leaks was arrested at the scene and charged with the murder of King Von. He was later released on a $100,000 bond, a decision that sparked outrage among Von's supporters. Quando Rondo, who was present during the altercation, vehemently denied any involvement in the shooting. In subsequent interviews, he claimed that he did not know King Von personally and had never had any issues with him. Quando maintained that he and his crew were merely defending themselves during the altercation. Here is the thing. After the fatal incident, Lil Tim was arrested for the murder, and although he posted a $100,000 bond, he was expected to face trial for the murder felony. However, in a shocking turn of events, on August 21, 2023, Lil Tim's attorney Noah Pines, out of the blue, released a statement saying that all the charges against his client had been dropped. The statement says, "The case against Mr. Leaks was dismissed prior to ever being indicted. Prosecutors believe that Von was killed in an act of self-defense." After the charges against him were dropped, Lil Tim and about everyone else on the Quando Rondo team celebrated on the street. Lil Tim released a song accompanied by a music video where he rapped about the court's verdict. Left a Stain, where he raps about the verdict of the case. The lyrics go like this: "Just got a collect call from New Pluto yesterday. He said he on the way. We steady catching plays. I told him about my good news. I'm about to beat this case. I really came from the bottom feeling like I'm Drake." Unfortunately for Lil Durk, this means that King Von could not get justice from the system. The street is the next alternative. Rumors circulated that Quando Rondo had tried to take King Von's chain after the shooting, allegations that Quando strongly denied. He accused people of spreading false information and clout chasing, insisting that no one would be thinking about taking a chain in the middle of a shootout.
I'm not even sure, ma'am. But a chain, ma'am, ma'am, when they come to jury, ma'am, only people with bad intentions who clout chasing and stuff looking to try to take a nigga chain. Right. Ma'am, a $50,000-$60,000 chain, ma'am, like a could go buy that. That's $50,000-$60,000. Like, that's not nothing.
On the other side, Quando Rondo and his camp faced intense scrutiny and backlash. Many fans and fellow artists held Quando responsible for the events that led to King Von's death. Despite the criticism, Quando remained defiant. In the weeks following the shooting, Quando Rondo faced significant backlash. Concerts were canceled, and he received numerous threats. Despite this, he continued to release music and maintain his innocence. In a controversial move, Quando gifted Timothy Lil Tim Leaks an expensive watch, which many saw as a sign of loyalty and support. This act further fueled the animosity between the two camps. "Me and my twin," wrote Quando Rondo on Instagram stories, accompanying the caption with a photo of two newly purchased watches, one with black details and the other with blue. He tagged Lil Tim's Instagram account, indicating that the second luxury watch was a gift for the man accused of shooting King Von. Although at the time, some people commended Lil Durk for not seeking to avenge King Von's death and continuing the chain of violence in the rap culture. Little did they know that the rapper was moving underground like a green snake in green grass.
Durk has been locked up in Broward County Jail. He's there right now. This is his. Yes, Broward. He's in Florida. I got the whole thing on. Look on my stream. I got it. Oh my God, bro.
In a shocking turn of events, rapper Lil Durk, whose real name is Dirk Banks, was arrested and is facing a federal charge for an alleged murder-for-hire plot connected to the death of Lil Pop. Who is Lil Pop? Good question. Lil Pop is Quando Rondo's cousin. As expected, DJ Academics was among the first people to break the news of Durk's arrest to the industry. After making a video about the situation, he tweeted, "Breaking. Lil Durk has been arrested by U.S. Marshals and held in Broward County Correctional Facility until he's extradited to California for his federal charge. His charge is murder for hire for the death of Quando Rondo's cousin, Lil Pop." Lil Durk's arrest comes after federal prosecutors in California indicted 5 individuals believed to be members of Lil Durk's Only the Family, OTF, crew. The charges claim these men arranged to travel across state lines to carry out the alleged attack against Quando Rondo's circle in 2022. Prosecutors allege that one of those criminal activities was the 2020 attempted murder of rapper Quando Rondo, allegedly plotted in retaliation for the 2020 killing of rapper King Von, Lil Durk's friend. Interestingly, both the new charges and the previous indictment allege that the 5 men were behind the 2022 shooting that took Quando Rondo's cousin. But in the latest charges, prosecutors directly accused Lil Durk of ordering the 2022 shooting, saying it was retaliation for a 2020 Atlanta shooting in which a Rondo associate allegedly shot and killed King Von. If you love this video, then click the card showing on your screen for more videos like this.